Well, hello, everybody.
Good evening.
Can you believe it's been 2 weeks and here we are again on a Monday night? I think this is June the 10th, if I'm remembering my calendar right. Episode 21 of Southern Gospel Forward, and we are legal now. We are 21 episodes old. So yeah, y'all have a good week so far.
Yes, sir.
Monday?
Yeah.
Evan and I
been a
survived
Monday.
BBS.
Right.
Yeah, PBS. Yeah. And Riley's working. He said he needs a nap, but he always needs a nap, right?
Amen.
Friends,
I did get like a 10-minute one, so
There
that
you
was better than nothing.
there you go. Friends, thank y'all so much for joining us. Y'all have been a blessing to us through all of these episodes, and we're just thankful to have you back with us tonight. If you will, please go ahead and start that practice that we love for y'all to do, to share with your Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook, please share this, the SBM Studios page on your Facebook page. It helps us get out there, and that we appreciate that. That'll get more eyes and help us reach more people. And also, if you watching YouTube, I would love for you to click that subscribe button right now and help us build our subscriptions up. And you can share that YouTube page and YouTube channel too. We'd love that as well. But thank y'all so much for being a part of Southern Gospel Forward. Look, this thing doesn't happen without people watching, right? And y'all have been a blessing to us. And I just hope you've enjoyed. I hope y'all feel like when y'all watch us that you are part of our family, because that's what this is all about. All right. Well, just like always, we have a little bit of business to do right quick. We think also what helps us a lot is our sponsors. And we've had some very faithful sponsors, and we've got a few more tonight that we're going to run through. And one of our most consistent sponsors is the Heaven Bound Trio. The Heaven Bound Trio, we love this group. Outstanding singers, outstanding messengers of the gospel. If you will go to www.heavenboundtrio.com, you can catch their schedule. I know they're scheduled to be in Pigeon Forge for the National Quartet Convention, and I think in one of the artist showcase. So just check them out, and if you see them or if you see them online, thank them for sponsoring Southern Gospel Forward. And another regular sponsor that we've had a lot over these last few weeks is Crimson River Ministries. Crimson River Ministries, promoting for 34 years. They have promoted Southern Gospel concerts, and they've got a special one coming up on June the 22nd. The Down East Boys and the Whitsnets will be at Lakeview Baptist Church. That's 7717 State Highway 317, Belton, Texas. All seats general admission, $25. You can go to crimsonriverministries.com. That's crimsonriverministries.com and find out all you need to know about this wonderful concert. We thank y'all for sponsoring us. Riley, you want to take this one?
All right. I'm looking forward to this event here coming up in a couple weeks. We're going to be having Singing in the Smokies. Me, Evan, and Avery will be there along with the Inspirations, Troy Burns Family, Kingsman, Mark Trammell Quartet, Greater Vision, all the rest of the good ones. You be there, be square, and we'll see you there.
I love it.
Wow. Good job, Riley.
Hey, and what I like was that he billed y'all three above Troy Burns Family and the Inspirations. So that's pretty cool. Avery, you want to take this next one?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm actually getting pretty excited for it because it's coming up really soon. So the weekend after Singing in the Smokies, I expect to see all of you at Shadow Valley Gospel Music Festival in Fayetteville, Tennessee. That is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, July 11th, 12th, and 13th. They're going to start out on Thursday, July 11th with Compassion, the Singing Ambassadors, McCrae Dove, and the Dove Brothers. You might get to hear some of their new stuff live, and the Inspirations. Friday, July 12th, they've got Keeping the Faith, Karen Peck and New River, and Gold City. And then closing it out on Saturday, July 13th, we've got High Road, Bradley Walker, Lauren Talley, and the Mark Trammell Quartet. Bring your lawn chair. The tickets are $25 each. Children 18 and under get in absolutely free. So bring the whole family, make it a big family event for this weekend. And don't worry if it rains. They've got a huge barn down the valley, and they can seat everybody. We had to do it last year. It was still fabulous. They've got an amazing concession stand, so they've got dinner covered. And I can't recommend this anymore. The Brady family is amazing. They're so sweet. And they've got Joseph Reed as the MC.
Hey, all right. Thank you so much. I'm sorry, Evan. We didn't have anything, any commercials. I should have given you one of mine.
I knocked it out of the park last week with Singing in the Smokies, so we might as well give it a break, you know.
Hey, so I will do better this week and not forget our individual sponsors because we appreciate them as well. So we're going to scroll them across the bottom here in just a second. Thank you to our individual sponsors tonight, Daniel Garrett, Kyle Goodson, Daniel Hayes, and Andrew Potts. Daniel Garrett, Kyle Goodson, Daniel Hayes, and Andrew Potts. Thank you all so much for being a part of Southern Gospel Forward family. All right, y'all. Well, here we are. Episode 21, and we are geared up for a fantastic time tonight. If you notice, I don't have Papaw under my name because I have Legacy 5 is celebrating 25 years of ministry this year, which just seems, it just doesn't seem, it seems surreal to me. But on this panel right here, I am the only one old enough to have been around for all 25. And I've got that first. Yeah, you're close. I've got the CD Strong in the Strength. I remember when they came out, and we are just looking forward to celebrating with them this year, the 25th anniversary. And we have a special guest with us tonight, a newer addition to Legacy 5. And if y'all will help us welcome Jake Loen of Legacy 5.
Woo. Hey guys.
Welcome.
Hi.
Howdy.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, Jake, we appreciate you for spending time with us. And our panel, we were talking, you know, we haven't crossed face-to-face paths yet.
Right.
I'm looking forward to meeting you and seeing you this year. But I appreciate you for spending a few moments with us on Monday night and hanging out with us.
Of course, guys. Yeah, it's my pleasure. I've been looking forward to this. And man, I can't believe you're already making me feel old about this. You're serious? None of these other three have been around for 25 years on this earth?
Go ahead. Y'all do a roll call. Do a roll call on your ages and make him feel old. Avery is.
I'm 23.
And
Okay.
Riley.
I'm 20.
And Evan.
I'm only 19. I'm the young one. I didn't realize I was the baby of the group.
You're the baby. But Jake, I'm 50. So see, it's okay.
All right. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you for helping me there.
And I'm just realizing I'm older than two of their ages put together, and that's terrible. But anyway, we'll move on. Let's not get into that. I tell you what, Jake, I think you've watched some of our episodes before and kind of know what we do. Our panel's got some questions for you tonight, and we'll take some comments. Y'all that's watching, please put in your comments. You may have a question you'd like for us to ask Jake. Put it in those comments. We will do our very best to get to those. But Jake, if you will, and there's probably some watching that has not had the opportunity yet to see you in person in concert, would you take just a moment and just give a little introduction of yourself, maybe your background, anything that you would tell someone if you were introducing yourself for the first time?
Absolutely. Yeah. So I've grown up in Belleville, Michigan, and Romulus, Michigan, near the Detroit area. Been here my whole life and been serving in church ministry my whole life. Basically, my grandfather was a pastor here for about 30 years. So I had the privilege of coming up under his ministry for the first several years of my life, and started playing music when I was about 9 or 10 years old. My grandparents got me my first guitar, and I would sit up on the front row on Sunday nights and strum along to the hymns and just kind of start learning how to be a musician, I guess. And that kind of expanded and grew into other music, other instruments, but always had a great love for quartet singing and harmony. I was a huge Cathedrals fan growing up. My grandpa and my dad and his brothers had a quartet that they would do some local stuff here when I was growing up as well. So just always grew up loving harmony and gospel music. Fast forward several years, most of my growing up, I was an instrumentalist. I was just somebody that would play the guitar or play the piano for someone else to sing. And Lord kind of started developing within me a desire to sing and to be, I guess, a little bit expanding my role in that way. And God opened the door for myself and some family members of mine to do some local, a local trio that we had for a couple years. That was my first real taste of singing gospel music, and had a blast. And from there, that grew into an opportunity that I had via my friendship with Scott Fowler of Legacy 5, who would probably we'll talk about more through the night, but he had kind of taken me under his wing in a lot of ways, and really looked after me, became kind of my hero growing up, honestly. He connected me with a guy named Simon Ivashku out of British Columbia, Canada, who had a group called the Freedom Singers.
Yeah.
These guys originally came out of Romania, had an amazing story and testimony of how God had helped them escape Romania in the early 90s and locked themselves in a shipping container from Italy and wound up in Canada. They wrote a book about it, and that's kind of how their ministry started. But singing gospel music was a big part of their story as well. So eventually their ministry grew such that it was they were traveling all over Canada and doing some dates here in the States as well as a trio. And I was able to join them, sang with them for about 4.5 years, traveled all over the place, loved it. And up until about the point where I got married and was getting ready to start a family and maybe needed something a little more steady, is kind of when I had to come off the road and took a job here locally. Just trying to work through my history here, I guess, through Southern Gospel. Oh, I shouldn't leave this out because I'll have a lot of people getting on my case if I do. But I sang with Liberty Quartet out of Idaho.
There you go. Yeah.
Quite a bit on and off, filling in with them, but for an extended period of about 6 months, probably at one time. So got to know a lot of those West Coast Southern Gospel fans over that period of time and met a lot of great people. Love the guys in that group. They have a fantastic ministry and they're still going strong today.
Yeah.
Really the premier group on the West Coast, I would say, in terms of Southern Gospel quartet singing.
Yes.
And now I am still living here in Michigan, still in the Detroit area. I am the worship director here at my local church. So I've been doing that since about 2019. And life's been changing a lot over the past couple of years, and things have been, my roles have been expanding here at the church in various ways. But God also opened the door last year, right around this time, or a little bit, I guess it's been just over a year now. God opened the door for me to be able to travel with Legacy 5, and really didn't know how it was going to work out. There was so many things that had to fall right into place in God's perfect timing. But they did, and it's been kind of a dream come true, honestly, for me to be able to do that, to be able to sing with those guys who I know the guys and have loved their music, obviously, my whole life, but have grown to love them as friends and now as colleagues and partners in ministry. So it's been really great.
Absolutely. God has had his hand on your path, and you're a great fit with the guys. It's absolutely awesome to see it all come together. The path that brought you there. Producer Jason, I tell you what, let's do. Let's just so we can stay on top of comments, and let's not pull in any questions from the comments yet, but we've had some check-ins and some hellos. Let's go through those right quick. Daniel Garrett, one of our individual sponsors, he says, good evening, good to see you. And Brianna Harrell, she's one of our regulars, part of the Southern Gospel Forward family, and we thank her for joining us. And producer Jason's wife, Rachel Baines, thanks again for being here with us. Megan Edgeworth, you can always depend on her to watch us. So look there. Good evening, panel and Jason. So hey, thank you for including Jason. Lisa Nelson says hello from Arkansas. Zach Stanley, good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us. And again, there's a hint. Ms. Harrison is always faithful to us from Winter Haven, Florida. Thank you so much for sitting in. And Annette McKee Brown She and Hannah always faithful to watch us. Thank you for joining us. Brent Bigby just found out he's going to get to go to NQC, and he's looking forward to meeting us. All of us?
Woo-hoo.
All right. Oh, hey, look, I don't know who.
Well, whoever's manning the Legacy 5 page, hello.
Yeah, I don't know who's,
Whoever that may be.
but appreciate them joining us and
Yeah.
with us. Absolutely. Gospel Messenger says, welcome to Jake, and he's watching from they're watching from Maryland.
Awesome.
Yeah, Jim Smith. Proud
Hey,
of you, Jake.
hello. Love you, buddy.
Yeah, I figured you might know him. Jakester, I like that. Diane Byrne is watching. Thank
Hey,
you,
Diane.
Diane. Nicholas Wilkie.
And the myth, the
Hey, Nick.
legend.
Yeah, the legend is sitting in with us tonight. Yeah, I think that might be all of our there's another one, Mark Loden.
Hello, Mark. Hello.
So so I think that kind of fits up our hellos, but we can stay on top of them. And I've already seen a couple of questions hit the gallery, but Jason to keep up with those and keep those starred for us. But we try to get in as many comments as possible because again, we appreciate you all for watching us and the fans of Southern Gospel Forward. But let's go ahead and kick off some questions. And I think we need to start, since he didn't get to do a commercial tonight, I think we need to start with Evan. So kick us off,
Evan.
Evan.
Well, I actually had a really good question. Of course, it's called Southern Gospel, but as you've kind of proven, Southern Gospel isn't necessarily from the South. It derives from the South in Tennessee. But what's some groups that influenced you that were kind of, other than ones that you sang with, that kind of influenced you in the Detroit / North America area?
Okay. Man, that's a great question. And yeah, as you pointed out, and my buddy Matt Fouch often reminds us that the most influential, perhaps, guy to ever come through this industry, Mr. Bill Gaither, was what we might consider a Yankee up there in
Yes.
Indiana.
Right. Yeah.
So there's something said for that. Man, local groups. Now, I didn't really get into many local groups or expand outside of the cathedrals and the Gaithers until later in life. So I've got friends like Justified Quartet up here in Michigan that I love, doing a great job. There's a family group called the Thurstons that you might be aware of. Their son Adam is our sound man and bus driver, and a great buddy of mine. He's my carpool buddy when we drive down to the bus, because he still lives up in Michigan here too. But man, for me, it was groups like the Cathedrals, the Gaithers, Gold City, the Perrys. Those were some of the groups that growing up I really had on repeat. There was actually a trio. I don't think we had but one album of theirs, and we had it because my parents had seen them in concert with the Cathedrals one night. They were touring together. A trio called Heaven Bound, which I'm sure you guys are familiar with.
Yeah.
Just loved their sound. The album that we had was Look What God Has Done. Man, I love that album still today. Yeah, those are some of my favorites, I think.
Yeah, that's hey, you're pulling a good one out. We don't talk about Heaven Bound much, but you talk about a powerhouse trio from the 80s, and the songs and the writings of Jeff Gibson and the harmonies and the musical stylings. Yeah, they had a huge impact on gospel music during that time. And yeah, so I keep forgetting about Justified also being in that area. Sean Barber came to the trumpet quartet from Justified. Yeah, absolutely. So, all right, I tell you what, Avery, let's go reverse order and let ladies go last this time. We'll let Riley go next.
So you alluded to getting to know Scott Fowler. How did you meet Scott Fowler, and how did you come to join Legacy 5?
Yeah, great question. So when I was about 4 or 5 years old is when my parents started taking me to hear the Cathedrals sing. So this would have been 94, 95 roundabout. So it was well into the Scott Fowler and Ernie Haas era of the Cathedrals. So for that reason, that era will always be my favorite. There's always the debate, lighthearted debate in some cases about, what is it, Mark and Danny, or is it Scott and Ernie, for me, just for nostalgic reasons, it'll always be Scott and Ernie. But yeah, we started going to see them, and for whatever reason, I was drawn to Scott. I tease him sometimes and say that it might be because he was the one that was closest to me in size when I was that age. I honestly, he was, he was a young guy back then.
Yeah.
He was cool to me, at least.
Yeah.
And whenever we would go see him, he would come out from behind the product table, and just me and him, he would sit down with me for 10, 15 minutes each time we'd go, which was probably at least 3 or 4 times a year. We'd go whenever they were within a couple of hours worth of a drive. So he really invested in me and took an interest in me. And as a little kid, you guys all could imagine how much that means to you at an age like that someone you idolize and think is just the coolest would spend that time with you.
Right.
And as that was happening, he was also building a relationship with my dad. And the two of them have become, great friends to this day. So that relationship just kind of kept growing as I got older. They came off the road when I was about 9 years old, and started Legacy 5, of course. And that relationship continued. I kept going to see him every chance we got, and developed a relationship eventually to where he felt comfortable enough to offer to us that, hey man, if Jake ever wants to come ride the bus for a weekend, tell him to come. So, and that was just the coolest thing ever. So there was a couple of times where I would meet up with them or fly down to Nashville and catch the bus and just hang out for a weekend. Got to go on a couple of longer runs for tours and help with production here and there. And actually so I don't know if any of you remember, they used to have these celebration events at the Opryland Hotel over holiday weekends.
Yes.
Huge events, multi-artist things. He would invite me and my cousin. We would go and work backstage and basically just be stagehands, strike microphones and stools and whatever else, mindless jobs that you can trust a teenager with. So yeah, that relationship, it kept growing, and him and my dad kept in touch all over those years. And Scott then started coming up, and every year he goes on a snowmobiling trip with us. It's been probably close to 15 years that he's been doing it now. He'll fly up for a weekend, and we go up to the Upper Peninsula of Michigan and snowmobile for a weekend. Yeah. So just all of these different ways in which, I was getting more exposure to the Southern gospel world, and he was kind of taking me under his wing. As I think I already said, he put me in touch with Simon from the Freedom Singers, who got me my first traveling job singing. So that's basically how our relationship started. It started with me just being a starstruck kid, following him around everywhere that I could, to eventually becoming friends with him, and him being my mentor basically in this industry. And in terms of how did I end up joining the group, man, we had just come back from our snowmobile trip 2 years ago now. And I had seen on Facebook one morning the news that Brian was leaving the group. And I was like, man, that's a real bummer. I really hope everything's okay. What's going to happen to the group? Who's going to come? Because, your favorite groups are your favorite groups because of the people that are in them. Right. And by far my favorite group that's on the road. And I've just always loved the guys that they've had in the group. Of course, Scott Howard was there for 20 years. And when he goes, you think there's no way that anybody's going to be able to replace him. Right. And Brian comes and Lee comes, and they just have this kind of fresh sound. Yeah. It's just awesome and super cool. They go out and win a Dove Award, with that first album. So I texted Scott that morning and said, hey man, what the heck? And, we kind of talk, and of course he was bummed that Brian was leaving, but said, God's going to provide, and, we'll be all right. And I just in passing kind of told him, hey man, because I had filled in for Brian actually before, when Brian had his twins a couple years ago. He called me up and was gracious enough to trust me to come and fill in for him. And I was honored to do that. So I basically just told Scott, hey, man, if there's any way that I can be of help to you, I'd love to come fill in. And that's really all I thought that I was going to be able to do. Didn't even let myself dream that it would be a possibility to join the group. So he took me up on it. I drove to meet him in Indiana, I think that next week, filled in. And then he invited me a couple of different times to come and do that. Ended up filling in with them when they were here at my home church in Belleville that same year. And then just things, again, in God's perfect timing, just kept falling into place. And me and my wife talked about it, and what would it look like if it were to work? How would this even make sense for us? Because of just the logistics of it all, me living in Michigan and the group being based out of Nashville, and I have another full-time job. So God really just worked everything out. And I remember calling Scott and saying, hey, if you feel like this is something that you want, let's seriously sit down and look at the schedule. Let's pray about it. And man, I don't know how else to say it other than that God just worked everything out. And ended up being that I was able to do it. My work schedule is flexible enough to where I can travel when I need to and work from wherever remotely. So God's just been really kind to me to allow this childhood dream to come true. And Scott introduces me on stage as, always having wanted to sing with Legacy 5. Really, I've always wanted to sing with Scott Fowler. It could have been whatever he was in,
That's awesome.
That's been the dream.
That is awesome.
That is so
fantastic.
wholesome. I love that.
Yes.
Hey, Avery, have you got one queued up?
I do.
Take off.
All right. So you are a part of just a handful of guests we've had that is married and has children. So how do you manage that, traveling on the road and being home and not being home? Like, how is that?
Well, it comes down to really that my wife is a absolute rock star. She is amazing. And kind of playing off of the story that I was just telling about joining the group in general, one of my priorities and one of my, prerequisites for taking the job was that my wife's name is Elizabeth. Lizzie, I call her, but Lizzie had to be on board 100%. Like if there was any doubt that we were going to be able to do this, then it just wasn't going to happen. But man, she was just amazing the whole time and knows how much that I wanted it, obviously, but also really confident that it was from the Lord and what he was telling us, that we were supposed to do. It's definitely difficult being away. I've got 3 little boys here at home as well, ages 4 to about to turn 2 in about the next month or so.
Wow.
So yeah, it's a busy household, but man, she is amazing. She's a stay-at-home mom. I'll put that in quotations because she's got her hands in a lot of different things. She's got her own business that she runs from home. And she's actively involved in ministry at the church as well.
Yeah.
She is just awesome. And she is my biggest cheerleader. Definitely could not do it without her, but it has its challenges. But one thing that I will say is that Legacy 5's schedule is kind of taken a step back from what it used to be pre-COVID. During COVID, all the other guys kind of went out and got jobs, and as you had to survive,
especially music.
Right, exactly. And then post-COVID, they kind of just decided, hey, we kind of like what we went off and started to do, and we don't know if we want to go back to 180 concerts a year. Why don't we just sing how much we want to and sing for fun, and have a great time doing it? So that's kind of been the strategy from then on.
That's great. It does help with the family schedule.
The doorbell. Oh,
the doorbell. Now, this is a Legacy 5 episode, and there's only room for one Scott in this room, right?
Don't make me cry. Oh,
What?
hey.
I heard that, Jake.
What's up?
I've been listening.
What I meant to say was I always wanted to sing with Scott Fouch and Matt Fouch.
Thanks for
brother.
clarifying. I
What's up,
appreciate that.
Brother Matt, we thank you so much for joining us. Yeah, I had popped a little question to him to see if he might come on. There is one particular panelist that we have that I know is about to pass out right now, I think, because
Yeah.
right?
Dude, I've been watching On the Couch with Fouch since I was a kid. Like before I could even
Same here.
look up your name on YouTube. And like I'm in an interview with Matt Fouch now. That is
Now hold on.
this is
When
the
he
best
says he's
thing
been
ever.
doing something since he was a kid, that
You're
doesn't mean it's
still a
been that
kid.
long.
Well, yeah,
I guess.
I'm technically an adult by 1 year on paper.
Wow. I appreciate the kindness, Evan. Interviews was fun to do on the couch with Fouch. We did a lot of them, but I can remember being the guy talking about how old all the other guys were, and I was so young, hearing them sing or whatever. Now I'm getting that a little bit. So yeah, glad you enjoyed it, man.
Just by us young guys.
I knew it would mean an awful lot to my panel to have you on, Matt, and I appreciate you being with us. And
Yeah.
as I had said when we were conversing over messages, that we have all watched you, and we're kind of we have a laid back style here, and I think you've had a whole lot of influence on us. We always love watching your interviews with the Southern gospel artists. You did a fantastic job.
I appreciate it. I really haven't done many since COVID.
Right.
And I have folks every night at a concert ask about them. They
Every
say, I haven't seen one in a while. Real estate just kind of has taken top priority now for me. I hope to do some more in the future. I actually had somebody text me just last week saying, asking about doing more. And I was like, man, it's just so crazy at my house right now. But it's one of those things that it's always great to just get to know the artist a little more personally, outside of the what's your current single, where are you guys going to next, what's your schedule look like this year, are you excited to be at NQC, all the normal questions, but ask them about life and family and what makes them tick. It's always fun to hear that from the artist.
Absolutely. Oh, goodness. We have somebody intruding here. Pat Barker, was our favorite interview? I guess this is for Matt. He was the only one that he watched.
My favorite Pat Barker interview was when I did it for a bass singing interview with him on how not to sing bass. That was my favorite one with Pat Barker. Absolutely. And he does a great job telling people how not to sing bass. Yeah.
You got to get your chin down in your chest. I remember that.
Drink a gallon of milk beforehand or something like that too.
That's fantastic. Fantastic. And hey, so now we know that it's not Matt manning the Legacy 5 account.
No, it's not. I don't know. I guess I don't know who would be on that tonight.
Oh, well, we're glad they're watching. I tell you what, and we won't, this interview is all about Jake, but Matt, you're a pro at this. Would you have maybe a question or two from your perspective that you could throw out at Jake?
Wow. I didn't prepare for any questions or, what did I used to call it? The Fouch zone or something where I asked all that? Yeah. I didn't prepare any of that today, but I'll just say this, Jake knows more Legacy 5 songs than I've ever even thought about knowing. He knows music inside and out, and he knows this music inside and out. And he is a true professional just in the short time he's been with us. He goes above and beyond, and we're thrilled to have him on the team and traveling with us. And I don't have any questions for him, but I just want you all to know that Jake is true blue, and what you see is exactly what you get on stage, off stage, hanging out, eating at the restaurants afterwards, all of that. So we love you, Jake, and we're so proud to have you on the team with us, bro.
I love you, buddy. Thank you.
All right, real quick then, Evan.
Yes.
I'm giving you one opportunity real quick before we turn this channel back to Jake.
Come on,
you
man.
have your opportunity to ask Matt Fouch.
Oh my gosh. I've been waiting.
Evan, do your iconic question.
Okay, good. Oh, wow. This is so cool, guys. So every thing, what are these called? Podcasts. Every time we do one of these,
He's glitching.
every time we do one of these, I ask singers what their favorite road trip snack is. And you've traveled for a little bit, so you've probably gotten a wide array of some things. So what is your favorite road trip snack while on the road?
You really can't go wrong with a solid double stuff Oreo.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's a top 5 at least that I've gotten on answers.
And then as of late, I'll say also, if you're going to go, I mean, that's obviously a cookie, right? So you're talking chocolate and stuff like that. But if you're going to go more like gummy type of a candy, the Nerd Clusters is a top favorite right now for me.
That has been a very popular answer. I'm going to have to go and count all the Nerd Clusters you got, because we've gotten that one very frequently. So
okay, so Evan,
for good.
This is my early birthday and Christmas present to you.
Oh no, you're not gonna, are you?
No, this Matt was your early birthday and Christmas present. Okay, but why don't? Hey Jake, you want to throw in your answer for roadside snack while he's on that, because that is Evan's iconic question.
I will second the Nerd Gummy Cluster, whatever those things are called, and then also. I know Adam will make fun of me for this, but you can't go wrong with Cool Ranch Doritos.
Oh,
those are
I've
good.
been Team Cool Ranch for a long time, and I never say it out loud because people make fun of me too. So
yeah,
I don't know what the stigma is about Cool Ranch Doritos, but
they're good. It just requires a mint or some chewing gum pretty quick afterwards. That's
can I throw a little curveball real quick?
I'm on with it.
Okay.
All right. So everybody that saw the couple interviews I did. And I'm throwing this to you. Well, I'm throwing this to you, panel, and then I want to see how y'all pivot off of this. Y'all be on your toes here, all right?
All right.
So a couple interviews I did many years ago, I asked the artist to sing the lyric of one song to the melody of a separate song.
Oh no.
And we did it on the fly. Like it was one of those. Let me just say real quick, it came as a thought to me because years ago when I was with Sold Out Quartet, we were at a youth camp and we were the judging panel for like a singing competition at the youth camp. And this young lady was singing a hymn, but she kept singing the lyric of one hymn to the melody of a separate hymn. And she kept starting over and over and over again. And she couldn't get it. And so I thought that would be a unique thing to throw at somebody in an interview on the spot and just see.
That would break my brain.
Now I can't do it.
I can't do that.
I think Jake, if there's anybody on our bus that I think could do it, it would be you or Lee Black. That I think would be able to pull that off. So panelists, I just want to throw y'all a little curveball, see if y'all can come up with something like it would be like the lyric to Amazing Grace to the melody of whatever, How Great Thou Art, or something like that.
So in your rules, does the lyric, which does need to be gospel, does the melody have to be also gospel?
I just stuck with hymns when I did it. When I threw it at some of the artists in the interviews, I just stuck with the hymns as opposed to the gospel songs, just to kind of keep it maybe a little more easy, potentially. I'm so excited about this. I hope you guys come up with something real good for Jake.
It's gonna break my brain.
Panel, have y'all got anything?
Hold on, I got 2 hymn books sitting right here.
Oh, of course.
I'm gonna flip 2 random pages.
I'm gonna go hide. That's what
I should.
This kind of thing will make your brain absolutely.
I think I got one,
Right.
but I don't.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Sing it.
One of the good ones.
Let's
Go
see.
for it.
I've got to think about it. I'll fly away. Oh, hang on, I got this. Hang on, I got this. Let me think. I had it going in my head, and to make it come out of my mouth is so much harder than I thought it would be. I'll fly away, oh glory. That's all I got.
Yeah, you're singing the right lyric to the right melody, and so it's hard to use your brain.
My brain can blend it together. My mouth cannot do it.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
All right, I'm gonna think on that.
Yeah, maybe not this time. Maybe the next guest you have.
You do it, man.
I was gonna cheat because used to, and it kind of got out of hand when this was happening, but at the church I was at, one of our bands would start taking hymns and singing it to secular melodies. So there's a lot of those, and I have mine hand. Some glad morning, when life is o'er, I will fly away to a land. Anyway,
Like you heard Tim Lovelace do it backwards.
Sweet Home.
Yeah, you could do that. I'll fly away backwards.
Oh, that
White
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would be
And I
fun.
murdered that thinking about
The
that. But
Sound
anyway,
does the Eagles song "Peaceful Easy Feeling," and they do like "Amazing Grace." Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound. It's something like that, but it's to "Peaceful Easy Feeling" or something.
Nice.
That one's really good though, because it interlocks. It's pretty fun little deal.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. There we go. I'm resolved. I got it.
Nailed it.
I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
So the old guys got it. All right.
That's fun.
That's cool. And now my brain is busted. That was really fun. And I forgot that you did. I forgot that question. That was bringing a blast out of the past. But
see, I mean, if y'all look in the comments, Megan says she can do Amazing Grace to the tune of Joy to the World.
Cool. That's pretty cool.
Amazing Grace, how sweet the sound that saved
a wretch like me.
There you go.
There we go.
Ouch. All right, I'm done for the night. That was that hurt.
There it
Riley,
is.
Riley, I've noticed you haven't attempted one yet.
We don't want me to try one. That's for certain. Especially since being up since 4:30 this morning, my brain is already dead as it. No, but I will think of one and I will randomly pull it out on one of these episodes, and you won't expect it. So stay tuned. I guess
that is great. Well, Matt, I appreciate you popping in, and of course everybody's always welcome to hang out, but I know we just talked about maybe a pop in. You're welcome to hang out, or if you need to move on, it's totally up your choice. We're going to kind of transition back to interviewing Jake for a bit, but it means a lot. When we ask somebody to do something like this, it's really easy. The answer could definitely be no, and you were gracious. You said cool, it'd be fun, and I appreciate you for doing that, as I know it means a lot to my young panel for sure, and it does to me too.
Yeah, happy to do it. And I needed to give Jake a little break where he could collect some thoughts and take some attention off of him for a few minutes. I'll go easy on him the rest of the night. I'm going to head out. I got some listings to put up this evening, but God bless y'all. And again, I just want to echo again, we're thrilled to have Jake with us, celebrating 25 years this year for Legacy 5 or so. We're halfway through, I guess, the year, but it's been great so far, and we're looking forward to the second half of the year coming up.
Can't wait to see y'all in September.
All right,
thanks, y'all.
This has been for me. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
That's awesome. All right, Jake, I hope that was okay to have a little extra in there.
Oh, that's great, you guys.
And I hate that I butchered "I'll Fly Away to Sweet Home Alabama" because we used to really do it a whole lot better than that. But anyway,
I can only imagine.
That's fun stuff. All right, y'all, we got off track a little bit. Let's get to, hey, Jason, can you get us back to our audience, and then we'll have the panel go for another round of questions.
Of course, Dad commented that.
Dad knows that.
Hey, Nate Oates went to my church when he lived up here in Michigan.
What?
Oh, wow.
Look, you just went from like here to the top of my dad's list.
Love Nate. I think he's doing a fantastic job down there.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Rachel has a question. This is her epic or standard. What did you call your question, Evan? Iconic. This is Rachel's iconic question. She loves to ask our artist, what is your favorite scripture verse or favorite hymn, and why?
Sure. Man, it's of course hard to pick just one, but one of my favorite scriptures is Colossians 3:23. Whatever you do, work as unto the Lord, not for men. That's just what I try to live my life by, as I'm sure many of us do. Never to be looking for approval from man, but ultimately from the Lord. And along those same lines, my favorite hymn, or one of my favorite hymns, is definitely got to be "I'd Rather Have Jesus." Love that.
One.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Gospel Messenger would like to hear the story behind your World War II bugle and shovel gift. Interesting. Somebody's been doing their homework on you, Jake.
Man, there's a select group of people that would even know about this. It's got to be somebody connected to my grandmother. So I've had these things for so long. I don't know that there is much of a story behind it. Maybe this is going to be really disappointing. But yes, I do have in my possession a World War II bugle that I know how to play, and also a shovel. It's a really cool little thing. It kind of like compacts down into a smaller something to carry. Yeah, they tell me that they're authentic from World War II. I think my grandmother picked them up at a yard sale, maybe.
Oh, wow.
And gave them to me.
That is amazing.
Yeah, they're really cool.
I never find yard sale finds like that.
Right.
And the Gospel Messenger also put up, he found this information on the Legacy 5 page.
Oh, you know what? I forgot about that. I forgot that I had put that in my bio on the website. So
yeah, there you go.
Awesome.
Got anything else to share? Johnny Parrish is a faithful listener, watcher. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. Tiffany Roby, one of our young friends. Hey, Tiffany, thank you so much for joining in. Erica Campbell, your favorite niece loves you so much and proud of everything you've accomplished.
Well, that happens to be my sister, and she's talking about my little niece, Reagan, I guess.
Oh, TT.
She's there.
There you go.
Yeah. She's one of my nieces in love.
That's awesome.
Not blood related, but yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks for watching, Erica. And Coach Mal Mallory, it says, good evening, crew. He's a faithful watcher as well. Pat Barker, is High and Lifted Up your favorite Cathedral album of that era? If not, what is?
Dude, yeah. That's a great album. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it gets much better than that. Except, man, there's so many that you could point to from that era. Faithful, the last one that they did was a fantastic album.
That's my personal favorite.
It was.
Yeah.
Hannah Bradford, one of our contributors on our page and a faithful friend to us. She's a partner. She's part of us. Blaine Rayleigh always watches from he is a friend from the beginning as well. Tripping over my tongue tonight. Tammy Rice, Uncle Paul and I are proud of you. I take that's Ken. And here's another watching, Jake. Yeah. Love from Gigi and your family here. Thank y'all for watching.
Annie. Hi, guys.
Odie Boggs, watching from Ohio, been a Legacy 5 fan the whole time. Me too.
Awesome. Hey, Aunt Kim.
Aunt Kim, all right. So you're seeing familiar faces. I love it when I love it when y'all see that. Natalie Smith.
Love you too, Nat.
And I think that's going to be it. But, going back to your cathedrals and talking about that, and you were talking about sometimes that little friendly debate between like Mark and Danny versus Ernie and Scott. And I look at it kind of like the Gold City, Ivan, Brian, Mike, or Jay and Jonathan and Mark. Yeah. And I just don't really think there's a winner. I think it's side by side. And I think the same way of those cathedral lineups, that you had one group that had two legendary top 20 of all time lineups in Southern gospel music. And I don't
take it back to Kirk and Mark.
Oh yeah, definitely.
All the hits that they made. Right. My goodness.
Definitely.
And you know what turned me on to the other eras later on in my life was that project that they did, the Cathedral Reunion. That really introduced me to those other singers and the other eras of cathedral music that I maybe wouldn't have known before, but and gave me a new appreciation for all those other guys for sure.
Yeah. I'm still waiting on Avery to find me a copy of the Cathedral, introducing to the Cathedral Trio at the thrift store. The one that sells for about $175.
I found it for $1.50 at my local thrift store.
Wow.
I have one.
Cool. It's a Cathedral Trio. And then it turned out to be that.
I got it from my grandparents. They
That's
had it
nice.
at their house, and they
Such a
weren't
cool
listening
album.
to it. And I was like, I'm gonna kidnap that album, and so now it's mine.
As you should.
That's good stuff. All right, well, we're ready for another round of question. Let's see. Evan kicked us off, and you want to ask another one, Evan? You got your snack question in. You got another one lined up?
I can think of one real quickly. As you have traveled with Legacy 5, they as you said, they've shrunken their schedule, so y'all get to do a lot more big events than usually what usual groups will do in a year. What has become your favorite event to do, other than, of course, NQC? That's always a big, the big number one. But what's a fun event that you like to do every year?
Yeah, well, you mentioned NQC last, and I'm almost ashamed to say this. I feel like a little bit of a fraud, but last year when I sang at NQC was the first time that I'd ever gotten to be at convention.
No worry, I've never been, so
okay.
No fraud there.
Well, you need to come on. But yeah, that was awesome. Great experience. I think probably the favorite thing that we do, and I was attending this event before I was a member of the group, but we do a weekend at Mackinac Island every year. And it's one of the most unique places that you could ever go. It's like stepping back in time, really. No automobiles on the island. Everything's horse and buggy. And the hotel that we hold the event at is, again, like taking a step back in time, but everything's super fancy and nice, and just a really cool environment, something completely different than anything else we do. So I really enjoy that event.
That is very cool. Yeah, I've seen a lot of advertisement for that, and the venue always looks like spectacular.
Yeah,
it looks like a blast to be at.
Yeah, it's fun.
That's good. All right, Riley, you're up.
So Matt was talking about you being a huge Legacy 5 fan, and you've talked about that the whole time. And people might want to know your favorite song, but I would want to know, what's your favorite song that you want to bring back that y'all haven't staged?
Oh man, that's a tough question. Well, first, my favorite Legacy 5 song, man. There's so many. I'll expand it if you don't mind me hijacking your question. I'll expand it to my favorite album, and I think my favorite album that they put out, which is so many good songs that maybe sometimes gets overlooked, is the Monuments album.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
that lineup with Frank was the tenor at the time, and Glenn Dustin was still there, Roger was still there. Just so many good songs on that album. And then a song that I would like them to bring back. Man, that's tough, because we brought back, as you guys know, on this project that we just released for the 25th year, we brought back 8 classic Legacy 5 songs that were some of the most popular that we've ever done. So I mean, it's got songs like "Strong in the Strength," which would have been right up at the top of the list. "Strike Up the Band."
Strike Up the Band.
That's such a fun song to sing, and the arrangement that Wayne Hahn did on that new album is awesome. I'm trying to think. Man, I don't know. Something off the London album, something else off the London album would probably be cool, because I know I Found Grace was on that. But like, even the old arrangement that they did of Old Time Religion to start off.
Oh, love it. Yeah.
Second song, I think, on the London album was really cool. I love that era early on.
It's good. And before Avery steps up with her question, just curiosity, since you've been with the group, have y'all staged That's What Grace Is For?
We haven't, man. Okay. Love that song. I don't know that I would feel right about doing it, man. That song is so Howie.
It's signature Howie. That's right.
And he nails it.
He does. I was just curious if y'all had
we haven't, but I love that song.
Yeah. Okay. Avery.
So I read somewhere that you're an award-winning trumpet player, and you said you could play that bugle. So what award did you win, and how did you do that?
Sure. So trumpet is probably the instrument that I'm most classically trained on. I started playing in bands in 5th grade, and then played all the way through high school, and in a couple years of college.
Yes.
But the award came from a national festival that we went to with my high school, my junior year. It was in Boston, and basically at the end of that festival, they give each individual band gets their ratings and things at this big award ceremony, and then they had a handful of awards that they recognized soloists throughout the competition. And it just so happened that one of the pieces my band did featured me on a trumpet solo, and they recognized me for that. So that's my small little claim to trumpeting fame.
Nice. That's so cool, though. I wanted to bring that up and ask.
Sure. Yeah. Thanks.
And our Evan is a music guy himself and studied music.
I'm a music ed major, so I'm
nice.
I'm a jazz drummer, and that's really what I'm best at is all the percussion stuff, guitar, piano, drums. But I am a tuba player. That's like a weird fact about me. So brass player,
Sure.
Did you saying you marched or that you played in college? Did you march at Michigan or?
I did not. No, I went to a college in Wayne State, in Detroit called Wayne State.
Okay.
I was a music major, but music business is what I ended up doing.
Awesome.
Not as performance oriented.
Right, but you still get the music background too. I've got a friend of mine who's doing music business as well, and it seems very interesting. So that's very cool.
Cool. All right. So I like to get to this point and ask Jake, I know you've got young children. Are you okay for a few more minutes? Or are you?
Yeah. So
okay. All right. Just making sure.
I came down to my church office because this interview would overlap with bedtime, which can get a little chaotic from time to time. So yeah, we're good.
I didn't want to impose on you.
No worries, man. We're good.
Family time. All right. Well, I tell you what. So, Fouch didn't do the Fouch zone.
No.
But I'm looking in the group, and we had some questions posed from our Southern Gospel Forward group, which is mostly composed of younger folks, but it's also composed of Southern Gospel fans. So I think I'm going to pose some really fast questions for fast answers from you real quick. You want to give that a shot?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. Pat Barker, is he still your favorite bass singer?
Who?
All right. Good answer. Your favorite car since you're from the Detroit area?
Man, I'm not a car guy, but we'll say Mustang. Mustangs are cool.
Okay. At least it's the Ford.
Papaw drives a 2018 Mustang. Good answer there. You rang my bell.
I was going to say, if you from Detroit did not say a Ford.
I work for Ford, so.
We're not doing too good on the lightning. Here we go. Josh Shire, favorite scent for a candle?
Pine.
Have you ever had a song that you have forgotten the words to on stage? That's an easy answer, right?
Almost, but no.
You have not.
Whoa.
I've been, man, it's been so close. Like I can think of just even a couple weeks ago, Fowler called a song that we haven't done in a long time. And the entire intro, I'm getting ready to be featured. The entire intro, I just have nothing. And then right before I have to start singing, the words came to me. So it's been close.
I spent 20 years as a worship minister, and the latter years we get spoiled to the screens in the back and all that kind of good stuff. But in the early years we didn't have that. And so many times a song is coming up and yes, that music is going, it's like, oh my goodness, I have no idea what is the first word. Bam. Yeah. Right when it hits and it's time to hit, then
thank you, Lord. Watch next time I go out, I'm going to drop a word.
All right. And I think we just hit, I wanted to hit some of these questions that they threw in there really fast. So thank you for letting me do that. And I don't want to take too much time away from, but I do want to ask this question I like to ask, and then we'll go back for another round with our panel. So Jake, you are still, a younger member of the gospel industry as far as when you talk age and way it stacks up with several people who sing. And I know Southern Gospel has a huge family aspect. There's a lot of encouragement. There's a lot of cohesiveness that's out there. And through the years, I've watched some of the older ones, some of the ones who've been around for years, pour time into. And we know that one who has with you is obviously Scott Fowler because your relationship with him. But other than Scott, who are maybe, who's a name or two that you might have in the industry that, paid you particular attention and poured into you?
Sure. That's a great question. So another kind of have to pinch myself moment is things like getting to share the stage with Ernie in his group. And, you know, getting a relationship built with him. He's been incredibly kind to me and always very supportive and complimentary. Guys like the Greater Vision guys have always been super kind to me. Gerald and Rodney, Chris and John, love those guys. And even more recently, people like, and I don't know if I say the name Landon Bean.
Absolutely.
Landon and Miranda, just huge cheerleaders for the industry, but for young people, especially in the industry, have really been so kind to me and encouraging.
I'm really picking up. You mentioned Ernie, you mentioned Landon, the Stowtown label, the Stowtown relationship seems to, I'm watching, and they seem to have a huge heart for pouring into young people and encouraging them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So absolutely. All right. Real quick, those who are still with us, if you will share us, please share us on Facebook and also subscribe to that YouTube channel. Jason, do we have anything that we need to pop up on the screen before we have another round of questions from a young panel? Hey, Miss Elaine, thank you so much. You're another dedicated listener watcher. We appreciate you greatly. Deanna says hi to Jake. Jeff Snyder, you did such a great job with Kenna's voice at Brooklyn Tabernacle a couple of months ago. How was that whole experience?
Man, and I love Jeff. I love his singing. I've loved getting to know him over the last couple of months.
Yes.
That was amazing. So obviously some friends of mine with Taranda and Jody, they have a group that is a trio with Doug Anderson as their third member. Usually he was unable to make a date that they were invited to do at the Brooklyn Tabernacle, and they graciously extended the invitation to me to fill in for him, which, man, that was such an honor. But man, that's an incredible experience to be able to sing at the Brooklyn Tab. I'm a big church choir guy. I've grown up in the church choir. We've done so many Brooklyn Tabernacle songs and arrangements. So that was a surreal moment for sure.
That is awesome. And I am sitting here so confused at the moment because in our comments, SBM Studios, which is, I mean, I'm sitting in SBM Studios by myself. And my partners are here, and I don't know, but it says SBM Studios has asked a funny road story with L5 so far, and I have no idea who typed that in, but they're using my name and my image. Oh, that was the producer. Jason did that. Okay, all right. There we go. So you got any funny road story that you can share safely, L5 so far?
Man. See, funny stuff just happens, and it's not like any specific story, but when you're with guys like Fowler, who's just a big kid and a goofball, you know, big practical joker, he does this thing. This is so stupid. If you're driving in a car with him and he's in the front seat or anywhere in the car and you're backing up and, you know, you're being real cautious and careful, there's other stuff around you're trying not to hit. He bangs on the door. He's gotten me so many times, but I'm getting better.
That's an older guy thing, because I torture my son.
He does the thing where he comes up behind you with his fingers and makes it sound like there's a bug in your ear.
Our dad does that
so much.
Yeah. So I get a kick out of watching him do that to all the old ladies around.
I want to say he's done it to me, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I went in Savannah, Tennessee, and he like did the thing behind my ear, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah,
that's great.
And I mean, all the guys are funny in their own way. You know, Tim Parton he doesn't try to be, but he tickles me probably the most out of anybody on the bus. Just his personality. He's great, and I love those guys so much. But they're all interesting and funny in their own way.
Well, this makes a good segue, because you were gracious and gave us your time tonight, and we always love to give a lot of promotion time to our artist and the group. So if we can talk about that right now, and Legacy 5 right now, 25 years, such longevity, that's a blessing. Such a power group right now. with Lee and Scott and Jake and Matt and Tim. Just a fantastic lineup. You're celebrating 25 years. There's a current picture of the group. Fantastic. You just have released a 25th anniversary Legacy 5 project, and there that is. Of course, you can go to legacy5.com and find out all things Legacy 5, legacy5.com, and you can find out all things Legacy 5, find the tour schedule. You can go shop online, pick up the products. Booking information is on that page, and contact information. But there's a big thing coming up that I'm on the SGMA advisory board, and we love to partner with National Quartet Convention. And at the National Quartet Convention this year, there is a special time that is happening involving Legacy 5, and that is a 25th anniversary celebration that's going to be Tuesday, September 24th at 12 p.m. at the LeConte Center in Pigeon Forge. Excuse me. Jake, would you mind taking just a moment and just talking a little bit? You can promote anything else Legacy 5 you want to, but maybe specifically touch on the 25th anniversary tour and this celebration at NQC.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, that album has been so cool for me to be on, because, you know, I came on board last year and we were still doing a lot of the Something New album and the Pure Love album, and those songs are great. And there's quite a few songs that feature the baritone on those albums. But there's always a little bit of an aspect of, you know, those aren't quite my songs yet. You know, they were somebody else's. So not just to be able to hear myself on the classic Legacy 5 songs,
like
Vessel of Mercy, you know, I Found Grace, all those great songs that I've grown up listening to, is incredible to be able to hear myself on those and to be a part of the group now. But then to also have the honor of being featured on a couple of our new songs. Our current radio release right now is a song that is called You've Always Been My Shepherd. Our producer Wayne Hahn and Dave Clark and Don Cook wrote that song. And man, it's so special to me to be able to sing that. And it's really, I think, resonating with people as we sing it. And then Lee wrote a great song called Never Just Another Sunday that's on the new project that I get to sing as well. So man, just the way that they've been so good to me to allow me to sing those songs, and Scott has really been kind in that way. So I've been having a blast singing off this new project, and I think people are enjoying, of course, hearing the old songs again. But
absolutely,
yeah, really looking forward to NQC this year. We're only going to be there the one day, but man, they made it special for us, and I'm glad that our schedule worked out so that we could be there. And we're going to go through and sing off that new project, probably sing just about everything off of it, I would guess, that day. And I can neither confirm nor deny if there will be any other special appearances to come out of that. But man, it's going to be awesome, and I can't wait.
It's going to be a highlight of National Quartet Convention for sure. So that is definitely something that those going to NQC wants to go ahead and get out there and procure your showcase tickets so you don't miss that fantastic event. And we just appreciate Legacy 5 so much, and looking forward to seeing and whoever's running the site there at Legacy 5. And I have, but we thank you for letting us have Jake tonight and supporting us for being here. And yes, Legacy 5 has just been an encouragement to so many over these first 25 years. And exactly what the last part of this says, the best is yet to come, because God is definitely using Legacy 5. So we thank you so much. All right. Let's see. I'm kind of looking at time. We don't want to go too long here, but I know my panel has another question or two. But Jake, you said you've watched some episodes, and Trevor Conkle started something in the very beginning that was not scripted and was not planned, where he turned the table on us, almost kind of like Matt did a while ago. And he actually asked the panel a question So don't know if you've seen that. Don't know if you have anything prepped, but anything that you want to put, especially my young ones, or if you want to include me in on it, doesn't matter to me. You can leave me out, but have a question you want to pose to our panel?
Sure. So let me see. So Scott, you've been around all 25 years. What is your favorite Legacy 5 song? Or you can do what I do and cheat and say album if you want.
No, I do have some go-tos. Yes, I have been from the very beginning, and I've got to say, and I'm kind of cheating here because I actually got the soundtrack and I sing it. Is That's What Grace Is For. I just thoroughly enjoyed that song. It was a signature Howie song. I enjoyed the message in the song. It speaks to me because I've been there. I've been at that place where it just feels like, Lord, I need your grace. And it speaks to me. So I appreciate that song. I loved I Am Redeemed. I stand. Did I say it wrong?
Stand Redeemed?
I Stand Redeemed. Thank you. Off the first album. I Stand Redeemed. I know I had Josh featured on that in the very beginning. I love that. I guess I'm so old school. That first album, Strong in the Strength, and those songs off of that,
Great.
I'll never forget that album, and it just sticks with me. I love Monuments. Goodness gracious, there's so many that I can pull out, but I think I would stand with I Stand Redeemed, and That's What Grace Is For is my favorite too.
That's great. All right, here something non-music related, but Riley, why are you sleep deprived? That's going to be your question for the interview.
Well, I work at Chick-fil-A, so this morning I was scheduled to be there at 5:30, so I've been up since 4:30, so that's why I'm sleep deprived.
Fair enough.
Making the Lord's chicken. So there we go.
That's good, man. Let's see. Something for Evan and Avery. Evan, what's your favorite cathedral lineup? You seem like somebody who might have an interesting one. Not just
actually, people are going to hate me for this. I love Mark Trammell. I love him. I think he's great, but I've got to find the album because I can't quite remember the year. Yeah, I grabbed the right album. This lineup, I can't remember all, especially his name. Help me out, Scott. This lineup is really. Oh, what is his name?
I know his name. I've heard it.
You put me on the spot because that you really went obscure there, brother.
Right. I really enjoy this lineup. This was one of my first cathedral albums I ever bought. And like the jackets on this, man. Like the But the songs on this one are great. There was what is it? Which one is it? It's Roll Away Troubled River is a great song on this album, and I really love it. Like this is Steve Lee. Thank you.
Yes, thanks, Brian. Like I was blank.
Steve Lee lineup. Now I love but I'm always I always try to go out of the park whenever people ask me my favorite lineup. And Gospel Messenger put it: Glenn, George, Kirk, Steve, and Roger. That is just I love that lineup. Anything with Roger Bennett, but that one, yeah. I love the whole however many years Roger was there because he just did. And it's not because you're a Legacy 5 artist. I just love Roger's style.
Yeah, he was the best.
Yes.
All right, Avery in an undisclosed location. Man, I've run out of interesting questions. See, I'm not good at this like you guys are.
I can answer the one you asked Scott because I thought you were going to ask the whole panel that.
Oh yeah, please.
So I don't go as far back with Legacy 5. I mean, I grew up hearing stuff like I Found Grace is like I didn't realize it was Legacy 5 until recently, but that has always been one of my favorites. I also loved Scott with the cathedrals. I didn't know it at the time. I wasn't around. But as a young teenager, like watching the Gaither stuff, I'm like, that guy right there is the stuff. And so I fangirl every time when Scott said he had something up his sleeve. I was like, if you bring Scott Fowler on, I will cry. And I hope you know that. But I fell in love with them around the Pure Love era. I heard them at NQC during Pure Love, and I was like, this is it. Cool. And then they did, I've never seen The Face of God, but I've seen what he can do.
Yeah.
They did that one in Birmingham right around the New Year. And I'm sitting there. I mean, I love all the Pure Love stuff. I like the Something New stuff. And then my mom turns and I am ugly girl crying. I had not heard I've Seen What He Can Do. And that is quite literally my testimony in song. And I'm just sitting there sobbing. She was like, "Are you okay?" And I was like, "No, no." And it's so that is like my all-time favorite Legacy 5 song. I thanked Lee for writing that one because I was just like, I can't put in words how much that means to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got so many great songs.
Oh yeah.
That's been a huge aspect over these last few years with Legacy 5 is the addition of Lee Black as resident songwriter.
Yes.
He's amazing.
Holy cow, his songs
So
are
good.
even songs he writes for other groups are spectacular as well.
Yeah.
And I can't believe when we were talking about Legacy 5 songs, and you mentioned the Pure Love, I love Only Passing Through. I forgot that one.
Both of Pure Love and Something New, like I play those all the time, and they're just solid. And I've played the new one too, but those were.
Yep.
Yeah, those
There's
are
a
great.
couch feature on one of those two, and I can't remember which one.
Who Better Than Me?
Yeah.
Was a Fouch feature.
I think. Hold on, I'm gonna listen to it very quietly. Yes, it's that one. Yes, I remember loving that one when the album came out. I don't know why it's cool. Not on a playlist or anything, but I do love that one.
Yeah,
I love the live sampling, Evan. Good job. All right, so
I did never play it. I know copyright is a thing.
No, you're good. Hey, you guys have another round in you, and then we may let Jake off the hook. We don't want to run too long with him, but you got another question in your pocket there, Evan? You want to start off another round?
Yeah, I'm gonna steal this one from Avery.
Rude. I was about
to say it.
Yeah.
I want to hear it.
Get your own question.
Huh? Pick my own
question.
We're having You're embarrassing us.
So I asked everybody what former or retired group would you travel with and why, but I'm going to preface this with not the Cathedrals because we've already discussed how much you like.
Well, that's the thing. I don't even think I could say it because I would ruin it. I wouldn't be able to stand with those guys. Not that I'm worthy to stand with any other classic group. Man, what other group? I think, Gold City is another, just classic group that I grew up listening to and just has such a great heritage, in that same era as the Cathedrals kind of. We'll go with that.
Excellent.
Good.
All right, Evan. Sis got you.
Now that you stole my question, Avery.
No, you were trying to steal my question.
I know. Whatever. You coming from the Detroit area, are you and I read on your bio on the Legacy 5 website. Fun fact, a random kid from Alabama is a Detroit Pistons fan. Are you a fan of any of the sports teams in the Detroit area?
So, man, it's hard to be a fan of some of the teams right now.
Yeah.
Surprisingly, it's easiest to be a Lions fan somehow.
Yeah, strangely.
So weird. But yeah, I do love watching sports. I don't do it a ton, but it's still fun, even though they're not great right now. It's still fun to go to Tigers games.
Mm-hmm.
Really enjoy the Lions. I enjoy playoff hockey, and the Wings haven't been in the playoffs for a long time.
Yeah, for a little bit. Yeah.
So yeah, that's harder to come by.
I love your Lions football coach. He's a cool dude. Seems to be pretty cool.
Ball of energy.
Yeah. Yep. All right, Riley, bring us home.
So I've done this one the last couple of episodes. If you were putting together your own event and you could have a couple groups and then an MC, what would that lineup look like?
Okay. Let's see. I mean, if I'm picking, it's probably going to be the groups with the guys in it that I just really enjoy being around.
Sure.
So I would pick probably Greater Vision. How many am I picking again, Riley?
4 or 5 or yeah.
I'd go Greater Vision, Booth Brothers. I'd probably go Ernie's group, Ernie Haas Signature Sound. Man, I'm going to forget somebody and they're going to be mad at me. Triumphant. Love those guys. Yeah. Joseph Habedank. Love being around him too. And his music is awesome. Sorry if you guys can hear my text
That's
message
okay.
going off.
That's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
It's actually the culprits are the Legacy 5 group chat right now.
Nice.
And then MC, you know who I've really enjoyed lately has been doing a lot of the IMC events is Michael Booth.
Yes.
He does a fantastic job.
Absolutely.
There
Absolutely.
you go.
MCing is harder than what people make it look.
It is.
Extremely hard.
I've heard it said that when somebody MCs something for 2 or 3 hours, it's the equivalent of like a full labor work day, you know, I mean, just because of the stress and the mental strain that goes on that, but that's a great lineup. I'd pay that ticket. Jake, if I may, and if I hope my panelists are okay, have one more thing that I kind of wanted to ask, because like I said, I've, long time church ministry, everything from youth ministry to long run of worship and executive pastor ministry. And of course, now I've never been on a bus. I've never traveled the roads like you have, but maybe could you talk about a little bit about what's comparable and then what's different about ministering in the church on staff as you do versus ministering in a group on the road?
Sure. Yeah, they're so different, but it comes down to a lot of times just ministering to the people. And the way that you do that is so different, right? Because when you're in your local church body, you're called to be that unit that fellowships together on a consistent basis.
Right.
You hold each other accountable, and you build relationships in that way. On the road, I think we're called to minister to people in a different way. And a lot of times we're there to encourage them. We can't necessarily, keep them accountable and have that sort of relationship building into them. There's certain people that you strike up friendships with, and that becomes, part of the norm. But I'd say it's a ministry of, if it's not too bad of a word to use, entertainment, for one thing, because Christians like to have fun too, and Christians need to come and have their spirits lifted and be encouraged. Christians are allowed to have fun, and that's a lot of times what we're there for, and we're there to minister to people who are going through difficult times. Music has a special way, as all of you know, of ministering to people.
Yes.
And kind of reaching into areas where just the spoken word or a word from a preacher may not be able to break down some of those barriers.
Right.
So yeah, I thank God for music and for the ministry and the impact that it has. And I think it's all about ministering to people and loving on people, and in those different ways.
Absolutely. And definitely wouldn't apologize for the entertainment aspect, in the local church, as you talk about. And now people are gifted in evangelism to be that door knocker, to be the evangelist that comes in and boom, speaks a message and God uses. But in local church ministry, the way that you minister really is by building relationships and the fellowship and time in and time. And you do that through time. Well, a group on the road does not have that kind of time. I mean, yes, you can spend some time at the table, but to me, that entertainment and showing that personality and engaging self to the crowd builds that relationship and builds that trust factor that's needed for you guys to present the gospel.
Yeah.
And for it to be so, to me, I mean, I never would apologize for. I mean, there's going to be an aspect of entertainment, yeah, for sure.
But it's so great when the entertainment can also not come at the cost of being untrue to yourself, right? And that's what I appreciate so much about the guys that I travel with, is that we're up on the stage, we're doing our thing, but we're not pretending to be somebody else.
Yeah.
And all the groups that we've talked about tonight are just like that. They're the real deal. Because you can't, Landon has a great quote. I'm going to butcher it, but it scrolls on the screen at his events for IMC. Something to the effect of, God can't bless what you pretend to be.
Oh, wow.
God's going to bless the ministry of that's true, and that's being true to him and being true to your own character. God's not going to bless what you're putting on as a show in front of people.
That's fantastic. Yes, that is fantastic.
As a person who is, kind of follows that line of, am I entertaining in church or am I, worshiping in church? That's something really that I need to stick true to. Thank you for saying that personally.
Yeah, man.
That's good. That's good. Well, Jake, we're drawing up on an hour and a half, and I don't want to take too much of your time.
This has been great, guys.
Yeah, we've enjoyed it. We have enjoyed our crowd. Thank y'all for participating, for commenting, for watching, for sharing. If you haven't shared yet, you would be a blessing to our Southern Gospel Forward team if you would share the feed on SBM Studios Facebook page, like us there. YouTube, we'd love for you to go to our YouTube channel, SBM Studios, and subscribe there. We appreciate y'all. Y'all are part of our team, and we thank you so much. And we definitely thank Jake for hanging out with us. He's been a blessing. This has been a fantastic
episode. So fun.
Shared together.
Thank you.
My panel, do you have any last things you want to ask before we get off? Just anything that's just burning on you that you missed?
I don't know.
No.
Okay. Well, Jake, we thank you so much. And by the way, our listeners have gotten used to us making announcements of our next episode. We pretty well have it. We think where we're going, but we need to absolutely positively. We haven't written the checks yet. No, I'm just kidding. There's no checks. We haven't made the contract. There's no contracts. Anyway, we just need to make sure, so we don't want to false advertise. So y'all hang with us, watch us on social media. We will be making an announcement soon when and who our next episode will be. But thank y'all for being a part of the special night with Jake Loen of Legacy 5. And Jake, thank you so much. Please thank Lizzie. I think that's what you said you referred to her as. And I tell you, because you left her for bedtime with 3 youngins 4 and under. So that's
a superhero.
Yeah, he is, man.
Thank you so much.
But thank you for your time with us,
guys. Appreciate you.
All right. And if you will, you off the camera here in just a second if you want to hold on just a second, Jake. But to our listeners, watchers, thank y'all so much. We love you with all of our hearts. We will see y'all next time on Southern Gospel Forward.